Welcome in to a Sunday night edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live presented from Lance Beal, attorney at law. Our guy, Lance Beal, down there in Acadiana. Shout out to our friend Lance Beal, as he can help you with all of your professional representation that you may need. Remember, legal representation if you're looking for it, especially down in the Acadiana area, down in the 337. Get in touch with him. He can help you with personal injury, small business, construction law, family law, estate planning, all from our friend over at Lance Beal. Law office of lancebeal.com is where you find him online. Your choice for reliable representation. We are here for you and with you on this Sunday night, talking a little bit about yesterday's LSU basketball game. As Willie Wade will be here at 7:30 tomorrow morning, so spread the word. Not in. Not in on the phone, but he's coming. He's coming. We're gonna get him on an off day. We're right in the middle of the season.
I know. But
Huge games. No, he's coming.
No excuses for those guys anymore.
Saints defeat the Falcons 30-20 as the Saints win 9-8 on the season for the Saints. We'll talk about the playoff ramifications. They're out. Rams lost.
Oh, nice.
San Francisco wins the game. I mean, I cannot believe that the Rams lost. I really can't. I mean, they're playing for seeding.
They were up, 17-0?
Yeah.
17-0. And when you were watching the Saints game, you could feel it. You're like, oh, everything's kind of aligning. And in classic Saints fashion, how many times can you get your heart ripped out? Like, I know this isn't to the extent of what's happened in the past, but another down day for if you're a Saints fan, because this is not the way it's supposed to happen every year. It just feels like the hits keep coming for those guys.
It was a tough one, bro. It is a tough Sunday because the Rams and the 49ers were go into overtime, 27-24. Niners pull it out as Saints needed the Rams to win the game. But, yeah, good for the 49ers as the Saints will get into the offseason at 9-8, losing your starting quarterback, losing your backup quarterback. Looked like Taysom Hill got banged up today in Atlanta.
Little foot.
But all in all, 9-8 on the season. Just an incredible coaching job by Sean Payton. We'll dive a lot more into it this week. We'll talk to some people in and around the NFL, especially some people that cover the New Orleans Saints. But I really and truly, I mean, at 9-8, I don't know if you could have really kind of scripted this for the Saints as far as they go individually. I know you got to count on some other people, but I mean, what a season for Payton and the Saints post-Breeze. Jameis Winston goes down early in the season. Trevor Siemian is your quarterback. Next thing you know, he's out. Taysom Hill is now the full-time starter towards the end of the year. I mean, just all the things that they had to fight through. They had a hurricane that you forget about and live through.
Started the year with.
It's amazing. I mean, that hurricane feels like a decade ago.
Absolutely.
And it was during this football season that the Saints had to deal with that. So, incredible for New Orleans. Just their season. I know that the Rams, we would all like to send them what we think, especially around for what they had and could have accomplished today, man. Geez, just for your own sakes. But they fall. We'll talk about it. Samo, Jordy, did you get my address? I emailed it and DM'd it on Instagram. I did. I saw that the other day. In fact, the sweatshirt that I have for you is sitting right there in the watch room. I want to send to Samo. I'll make sure and get that into the mail this week. I appreciate you reminding me, Samo. It's good to see you. Thank you for starting ending your weekend with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure ending the weekend.
Yeah.
The weekend. But maybe the beginning of the party for some people out there.
There's a lot of thought out there that Sunday might be the start of the week as opposed to Monday being the first day of the week. So I don't know where I lay on that.
For what our schedule is, and we now work on Sunday nights.
I like this though.
Yeah, I do. I do too.
I like all the shows.
I do too.
I know
what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the comment button. We appreciate you being here for us on this Sunday night. Remember, all of our Sunday nights are brought to you by Lance Beal. Also, want to give a great big shout out to our friend over at Brian Fletcher Painting. It seems like it's been a minute since Rohan has been here. Rohan's been a little down under the weather. He'll be back, coming back around. But every time Ro is here, it's compliments of our guy, Brian Fletcher, the painter around town. And you can see some of the historic sites that they've already hit up and painted, and some of the sites that they'll be working on coming up here. Brian Fletcher Painting, you can find on Facebook, and is a great supporter of our show. So it is good to see Brian Fletcher, and, of course, Lance Beal, attorney at law. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. I was in the Maravich Center last night. What an environment, first and foremost. And I talked to Willie a little bit today. Talked to Will Wade. He'll be here tomorrow. And I told Wade before we get into, just kind of asking him about the game, his thoughts about last night, I just said, man, let me just tell you how cool it is what you have accomplished at LSU basketball, with LSU basketball in 5 years here. That environment last night, that environment earlier this week versus Kentucky, some of the environments that we've seen for Wade and the crew throughout this LSU basketball run have been phenomenal. I think that they're here to stay. A lot what we talked about with Mulkey, and shout out to Mulkey. They ran, they bludgeoned another SEC opponent today as they are on fire, the women, LSU women's basketball under Kim Mulkey. We'll talk about the Mulkey effect coming up here. But for Wade and the crew, as Mulkey beat up on Auburn today, 76-48 on the road. I mean, just beat the hell out of them on the road. And we'll tell you about that. But Wade, back to Wade and what he has accomplished with LSU basketball in this 5 years. Sure, all the numbers, all the draft picks, all of the accomplishments we are able to see. But I thought that last night was a true testimony of just where the LSU basketball program is present day moving forward. If nothing else, Will Wade and his staff, his players, his program has had the faith and the belief restored in the product that they put on the floor every night. Earlier this week, I said that Kim Mulkey, in just 15 games as LSU women's head basketball coach, had brought back a feeling and created a culture that it doesn't matter who they play. Like, it doesn't matter who the women are playing. People are going to support whatever they're doing because of what Mulkey is selling and putting on the floor. Wade has gotten that with LSU basketball. Taken a little longer than it did with Mulkey. And they were coming from a different place in a different time period, was Wade and his crew when they took over. And I know that we probably could have had this discussion a couple of times over the last couple of years, but now it feels like it's here. It feels like it's a program that is supported every night, no matter who shows up to the arena. You could take the brand to Bossier City, or you could be at home versus Kentucky, or you could be at home versus Tennessee, or you could be at home versus Lipscomb. People are going to be there. There is a buzz around LSU basketball with Will Wade and what they're accomplishing that is just contagious right now. It's awesome. The city's a better place when LSU basketball is competitive. Baton Rouge is a cooler town when LSU basketball means something from a national landscape, right? And I thought that Wade, it was fair last night for Wade to call out the facilities. I mean, have you heard this? Did you see this? After the game last night, Wade takes down Tennessee. And Tennessee is a program that, if you do your homework, the two programs that LSU has played this past week and beaten, Kentucky and Tennessee. Look up at the facilities on Tennessee's campus for basketball. We all know about Kentucky, right? Kentucky is the Alabama football of basketball, right? They have the best facilities. They have the best resources. They have the most boosters. They got the people that are paying attention the most and want to contribute to what's happening to Kentucky basketball by the pages. Calipari can just keep flipping through a Rolodex of people that want to help, want to pay, want to give cash, want to give time. Their facilities is best in the country, not just in the conference. Tennessee's is at the top of the conference. LSU beat those two programs this week. Not this year, this week. They beat those two teams. Really and truly, handled them. And their practice facility is leaking water. Legitimately. Like Wade said it last night. When it rains hard like it's doing right now in South Louisiana, the new DL is probably, as a crow flies, it's probably 50 seconds, a minute to LSU's practice facility as a crow flies. I mean, it's right there. It's storming at the new DL right now. So it's coming down on the practice facility on LSU's campus. As Wade described it last night, that means they're taking on water to half of the court. That they've had to push trash cans and towels along the floor if they want to practice full court. This is a top 20 team in the country. This is a top 20 program in the country right now. I mentioned the two programs that they beat this week in Kentucky and Tennessee, two of the best facilities in the conference. You're not even asking for Kentucky and Tennessee standards around here. They're asking for what they went and saw in Auburn a week and a half ago when they took their first loss of the season on the chin in a brand new arena, in a place that's supporting their basketball program, and look up, and Bruce Pearl and Auburn could be a Final Four team this year. Last week when the weather changed and it got cold in South Louisiana, when LSU crossed the street from the practice facility to go to the weight room, they had to throw their sweats on. They had to make sure that they were protected in walking across the street from getting to the practice facility to get to the weight room. Oh, Jordy, tell them to suck it up. Hey, man, they're not doing that at Mississippi State. They're not doing that at Ole Miss. They're not doing that at Georgia and Florida. But they have to do it at LSU? And they're a top 20 program? And they're beating Kentucky and Tennessee in the same week? And the floor's getting water on it from the ceiling? See how long down the list the restoration of the Maravich Center is right now because of the things that you have to take care of in front of that for LSU basketball? And look, man, I'm not raining down on the administration because I think that they are supportive. And I know that they've been busy. And I know that they've got stuff going on. But now's the time. Now's the time to support this basketball program, pay the head coach, extend him, give him more time on this campus, because look at last night. Look at that environment. Look at that place. Look at the style of ball that they're playing on the floor. Look what it's doing. Look at the buzz that it's creating. It's here, man. That was a hard sellout. It's going to be a hard sellout at 1 o'clock versus Arkansas on Saturday, the next time they play here. Because that's the program that has been created. I mean, Dale Brown was in the stands last night. Saw him sitting right next to Jim Inkster, sitting down and looking at his court. Had to be a cool, proud moment for Dale Brown. It feels like those days again. For those of you who are that age, who grew up, I was a kid during that time going to the Maravich Center. I didn't know anything else. The football program was terrible. Curly Hallman had it in more disarray than it was functionable. And Dale Brown was putting pros into the league every year. Guys that you were falling in love with as a kid. Chris Jackson, Verdell Singleton, Shaquille O'Neal, Stanley Roberts, Ricky Bland, all these guys. It feels like that again. My kid was there last night. Two of his buddies, they ran around the Maravich Center for 40 minutes screaming, yelling, going crazy on Tari Eason's dunk, going wild on block shot. I mean, they were jumping. It looked like I was a kid again. I felt I could relate so much to my kid's experience last night, just loving it and falling in love with the people on the floor. I mean, they speak about Tari Eason like I spoke about Shaquille O'Neal, right? And I'm sure you were experiencing the same thing. The 13,000 of you that were there last night saw kids running wild. It was a fantastic scene. Like, I mean, that is. I saw Stephanie Remph walking around the corridor last night in the Maravich Center. She had a smile on her face, ear to ear, grinning. I mean, like just pearly white, shining in the lights, man. I mean, just looking around at all of this support that her basketball program has. Now's the time, from the executives to the basketball program, to show the love, man. I mean, it's here. Get a practice facility that doesn't leak water. Get a weight room and a coach's office in that same practice facility like the competition has. Get to the discussion. Forget the studies of restoring the Maravich Center. There's enough studies that have been done. The people will show up when you have a winner. You have a winner, build them something that they can show up to that respects what's on the floor. I don't think that it's this difficult of a situation or conversation to have because of what you have on the wood, on the floor with the program. Kim Mulkey and Will Wade, this place is set up for the next decade to be a winner. They can't be having leaking roofs in the practice facility where you got managers scrubbing the floor.
What?
I mean, that can't happen. Right? So I just thought Wade last night was, I mean, it was incredible for him to call out. And watch out, man. Watch out. We're live.
Whoa. We're live. We're live, brother.
I thought that it was fair. It made a lot of sense. And if it rubbed anybody the wrong way, well, now's the time, man. Now's the time where it's the administration has to pony up and pay for Will Wade. Get the extension. Pay the money. Right? I mean, like it's past due. To hear that they're dealing with leaking roofs. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I had no idea that they were dealing with that like during weeks of preparation. Like that's amazing.
It almost cost you your point guard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get to the bones of it, like if there's not a better way to, like, I don't want to say virtue signal, but to signify the significance of what is going on around, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. It's like, it's too bad. They're too good for you to ignore it at this point. Like, you have to be able to take care of what's going on around LSU basketball because you're going to see more episodes that happened last night when you don't take care of the facility. The facility is not taken care of. You can't have people, they're putting it on 18 and 19-year-olds to be able to take care of that facility. That are, like, that poor mop guy was going around half court. He was sprinting from end to end. He was running suicides trying to make sure the court was clean. Like, that can't happen. You have blue chip guys going down because of how the facility is taken care of. It can't happen.
Well, I mean, you're asking to be competitive in a conference that is going to put more teams into the postseason than any other team or league out there. You're asking them to recruit on a level. I mean, just look at the success that he is having recruiting with what he has. And people are saying the practice facility is pretty new, right? Greg says practice facility pretty new. Why so bad? Since it's been built and since it's been opened in 2007, it hasn't been maintained. It hasn't been serviced. It looks like 2008 in there, right? I mean, these are what recruits are telling the coach's staff. This is what recruits are telling when they come to Baton Rouge when they ask, where's the weight room in the practice facility? Well, it's across the street in Tiger Stadium. Damn, even at Mississippi State, they got a weight room in the practice facility. Well, where's the coach's offices? If I wanted to talk to you in the middle of the day, what would I have to do? Well, now you got to go across the street to the athletic administration building, catch an elevator, go up for three flights, and you got to come talk to us. What do you mean? I can't put shots up and then just come talk to you in your coach's office like I can at Ole Miss? No, you can't do that here. Really? Well, what about when we go to practice? Can't we get some full court running? It depends what the weather is going to do. If it's raining hard that day, we're going to have half of our managerial staff on their hands and knees scrubbing the floor to make sure none of y'all blow y'all's knees out when you go full court. Really? Over at Kentucky, they got 2 practice facilities. Yeah, well, we're just trying to maintain the one you have here. But we got a top 20 program. I know, isn't it nuts? And we've got all the same money that Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, all these schools have access to? Yeah. Well, what's the deal? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Football sneezes and they get new couches.
$17 million to a guy you don't want.
Basketball beats 2 top 20 teams in the same week, and they're doing it on half of a court because the other side of the floor is leaking with a roof. I mean, look, man. I'm just saying, I don't need to be Tennessee and Kentucky if you're LSU. Just get me to Auburn and Ole Miss and watch what happens. Because look what Will Wade is accomplishing with below average facilities and where his team is right now. You give him average facilities. Forget Tennessee. Forget Kentucky. Go look at the blueprint in Georgia and go get the Auburn model. Take that to Baton Rouge and watch what happens. You miss out on a couple of players in the offseason because they want to go to a newer facility that has better support. They don't have to walk across the street to lift weights. Don't think that doesn't happen. Don't think that those conversations, it's not just that simple. Or sometimes it's not just that shallow. However you want to look at it. But those are the conversations that they have no loyalty to LSU recruits. Will Wade and his staff have to sell them on coming to Baton Rouge. They're not like you and I. They didn't grow up loving the place. They didn't say, hey, I don't care what the locker room looks like. I just want to go to LSU. That's not who you're recruiting. You're recruiting somebody who, like Efton Reed, who grew up in Virginia, went to high school in Florida, and has never been to Baton Rouge. He could care less about LSU. You know who you beat for Efton Reed? Kentucky, Pittsburgh, Virginia. I mean, teams that are winning national championships with high-level facilities. Go look at Pittsburgh's basketball facilities. They look like a football team in the SEC. And I'm not meaning to get off on a rant here. I'm just saying that now's the time. Now is the time for the administration, who I think is doing fantastic work with everything that they've had to fix in getting here. But now's the time to pay the basketball program. Now's the time to pay the guy. Extend him. Give him the facilities. Because if you do, look at what you're getting in return with below average facilities and, I'm not going to call it mediocre support, but just a lot of things prioritized above the basketball program. We can agree on that, right? For whatever reason. Football needed to be straightened up. Title IX stuff has been happening. There's other programs that have needed attention, like baseball and volleyball. Now's the time for basketball to reap what they have sown. Well, what about the NCAA investigation? It's been 4 years. It's been 3 years. I got to imagine that somebody from that athletic office has a line into the NCAA and can ask some real questions like, all right, what the hell's going on? Is there a deadline? Is there a date coming? Should we expect this? What's going on with the basketball program? Because it seems like it's a lot of, from the NCAA standpoint, I don't know. We just need more time. But man, look around, man. You beat Kentucky, you beat Tennessee in the same week, and really the games weren't that close. Like, LSU had the better program, the better team. I mean, their roster is better. Not than Auburn. But don't think that Auburn and Bruce Pearl aren't selling those brand new facilities that they have and showing that stuff off. I was there last Wednesday night, 2 weeks ago. That place is pristine, man. I mean, the guy next to me from Auburn was saying, we were talking about Walker Kessler. And he was like, it's crazy to think that Auburn is taking kids from North Carolina and they're transferring here to play basketball. And I said, yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it is. But if you dive down into it, Auburn's got a better basketball coach than North Carolina does. Auburn has a better arena than North Carolina does. Auburn has better facilities than North Carolina does. And I'm just talking about from a basketball standpoint. That's crazy to say out loud, right? But if you go to that Auburn facility, it ain't even close. I mean, that place is so 2022 of a sporting event, of a sporting venue. I loved that Scott Woodward was able to see that, man. I love that he was at Auburn with that LSU basketball team, so you could just see what and feel like. I mean, it was a true home court advantage. It really was. I mean, in a day and age where it is tough, I think that the biggest challenge that athletic directors and owners and decision makers have in that position is, how do we get butts in the seat? How do we keep people here when their at-home experience is so awesome? And this is tough to traffic, bathroom lines, concessions, price of admission, price on the concession stand, walking to your seat, parking, all traffic, all this stuff. How do we compete, right? Auburn seems to have figured it out from a basketball standpoint, because the week that they were out of school, place had 10,000 and the students were as loud as anybody in there. LSU could do that right now. They could do that right now. Look at that environment last night. I mean, that place was buzzing, bro. Place was awesome, man. I mean, it was the place to be. Like, it felt like, not only did it feel like just from a sporting event standpoint, but look around, like people were dressed up. It was date night. It was family night. It was
LSU football.
Get the kids out. It was LSU football. It was a social event.
It was something that it was the first time in my life for LSU basketball. Not the first time in my life, but one of those times, like, I have to get tickets right now. Like,
yes,
we're going.
Absolutely.
People drove in from New Orleans to come to this game. Like, I had buddies that came in town. I was like, oh, we're doing this. Like, and it was actually funny. My brother was like, so are we pre-gaming this thing? Do you do it like an LSU football game? And I was like, yeah, dude, that's where we are now. Like, LSU basketball is here to stay, and it is legitimate. And once you get that in LSU fans' minds, that place was electric. That's as hopped up as I've seen the PMAC probably since the Oklahoma Buddy Hield game, where it felt like it was on tilt. Like, you understand how good this LSU basketball team is if you were there on Saturday night at a 5 p.m. tip. And I know people, there's back and forth about what to do with the student section and what to do with the PMAC. And if it's leaking the way that it is, then it's almost costing you scholarship players, which is a disaster scenario. And thank God he's okay. But that can't happen. That's not the first time that it's been condensating in the PMAC. And the more people you're going to stuff in there, because it's going to be a sellout every time now. LSU basketball, it's like Will Wade said. If you play checkers in purple and gold, you got Baton Rouge rooting for you. And that's where LSU basketball is right now. It is an absolute force. This team is a tournament team at the lowest floor. But it could be a Sweet 16 team. It could be an Elite 8 team. This is what basketball looks like, and LSU fans are hopping aboard. And if you don't have the facilities to match, it's embarrassing almost.
Will Wade will be on the Jordy Culotta Show tomorrow morning at 7:30. Set your alert, set your timer. If you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Like, share, comment, all of it done here on YouTube, Facebook. We appreciate the interaction. Hal Jubin, I agree. Been bitching about it for years. John Brady had to fight LSU to get the practice facility that they built it back in 2007 is when they broke ground. Greg, I guess the NCAA penalty issue with basketball needs to end before stuff moves forward. I mean, Greg, I hope not, right? Like, I mean, for the sake of the basketball program, you still have to support that program. No matter what happens, no matter what goes down, I mean, it still needs and deserves the support. But even if we start to use just basic common sense within this NCAA investigation with the LSU basketball program, and you look around at the teams that were caught, like doing egregious stuff throughout this investigation. Auburn had an assistant coach, one of their most famous alums, arrested in the practice facility by the federal government. Like, handcuffed and hauled away in a federally marked car on Auburn's campus. And Bruce Pearl got 2 games suspension that he's already served. Like, you didn't even know it. It happened back in November when you weren't paying attention to college basketball. But his suspension is already done. A couple of scholarships and no postseason ban. If that's what's happening to people that were arrested on campus, they got LSU on a phone call that they can't figure out the context of. Nobody can get down to the bare minimum of what was the strong-ass offer even about. We've crawled up Javonte Smart's people's ass. We can't find anything. They still live in the same house. They drive the same car. There's no cash. There's no bank records. There's nothing that went down with what they were talking about with Javonte Smart because the NCAA, the federal government, LSU, the SEC, everybody's investigated it. Javonte Smart missed one game after the phone call was made to light, game public. A game after that, he was back on the floor playing for 2 more years. He played. For as strict as LSU is from a compliance standpoint, if you think they were going to get burned playing Javonte Smart, you think the kid ever laces him up for LSU ever again after what happened to him his freshman year? He missed one game after the strong-ass offered audio came out. He missed one game. Then he's back. Didn't miss another game his entire college career concerning that. Wade was reinstated. They've continued to ask questions. They've continued to come around Baton Rouge. They've continued to go on LSU's campus. They've talked to everybody, and they ain't got shit. They don't have anything. Because if they did, they would let you know about it as soon as it came to light. Because they've been so embarrassed by Will Wade. Wade is victory lapped on the NCAA now, going on for 2 years. Just swinging his dick in their face. Just running around the track with his pants down. You know what I mean? Like, it's right here. I mean, you know, what else you want? You've asked me questions. You got my phone. You got my records. You got my emails. You talked to my assistants. You talked to players. You talked to families. You talked to moms. You talked to aunts. You talked to uncles. You've talked to everybody. And we're still here? What's the deal? He's the NCAA's Al Capone. They want to get him so bad. They want to get him so bad, but they can't corner him on anything. He didn't pay his taxes last year. Throw his ass in Alcatraz. Put him on an island outside San Francisco where nobody can find him and he goes to die. But all he did not pay his taxes. I don't give a shit. Get him out of here. That was what would happen with Wade if they caught him buying one of his kids a meal. Forget the strong-ass offer. If they had him on anything, they would let you know. So if you're an administrator at LSU, you got to push away from your desk and say, ladies, gentlemen, they don't have anything on our guy. I mean, really, this dog and pony show now has gone on for 2.5 years. If they had anything on him, they'd let us know. They'd apply pressure on us. They'd want us to get rid of him. All they're asking us to do is fire him from a public relations standpoint. And if we do that, we might open ourselves up for legal BS.
Ain't gonna happen.
Pay the man. Fix the facility. Build the coach's office. Restore the PMAC. Get this guy some support. He's given you a top 20 team in 5 years. He's selling the place out every single time they take the floor. Pay him. Who are you going to find that is going to build or do anything better than what he's accomplished? Really? And not to think that somebody somewhere isn't going to step up and say, fuck it, we'll take him. We'll pay him. Build him a practice. What's he want? He wants a coach's office and a practice facility? Build it. If the guy's going to give us this in return, we're just going to win all these games and bring all these people in and sell the place out on a Saturday afternoon in Baton Rouge where you've got options. You've got choices. You don't have to go to the Pete Maravich Assembly Center at 5 o'clock on a Saturday, but all of us did. I brought my kid, 2 buddies. I looked around. People were there on date night, family night. Kids were running all over the place. It felt like 1988 in there for people who can recall that. For those of you who lived through the Trent Johnson and Johnny Jones years, welcome to it. Welcome to the party, pal. This is what it's supposed to feel like. This is what it's supposed to be like. That's what the basketball's supposed to look like. Pay him, man. Pay the guy. For God's sakes. Pay it, bro. I mean, you're not going to find anybody better than Willie Wade.
That's the most obvious thing, right? Is what if you don't? Why is it taking this long, right? Because I don't want to get into I don't understand how the minutia of the contracts work, but look at where the SEC is going in basketball, and look at where LSU has kind of stumbled into with Will Wade, because this is a Joe Alleva era hire. He is a guy that you absolutely kind of fell into your lap. Joe Alleva called it the worst hire he's ever made by proxy.
It's the best thing that Joe
Alleva ever done.
It could be the best thing that Joe Alleva ever did in his 40-year career. You know what I mean? He did nothing at all. He did nothing at Duke but screw stuff up. He did nothing at LSU but screw stuff up. I mean, he fell ass backwards into Will Wade and hates the guy.
Then try to hang him with it.
Yeah, because Wade is, he's like, this guy's a clown. This guy is a moron.
If you get into the nuts and bolts of it, Will Wade was the first one to buck back against the good old boy network and the administration. Be like, this is not the way that this shit works ever, anywhere that I've ever been. I was at VCU and the basketball facility's better. I had say in this, and now to the point you're at LSU, which he was going, this is Will Wade at his finest, is going, I'm going to build this thing it's going to be too big to ignore. It's going to be so good, you're going to either have to pay me, or it's going to come to the point where it is kind of right now, where it's on full tilt, where you have a facility that's leaking, and you have players that I'm bringing in through the transfer portal that are slipping on the court, and you have GAs that are out there. That's their responsibility. That is not where we should be. This is an LSU basketball program that it could be top 10 in the country. You have to start treating it that way.
Like I said, it doesn't have to be Tennessee and Kentucky. Because go look at Tennessee and Kentucky's. Google their basketball programs.
But at least we're at the same party.
Google Kentucky and Tennessee's basketball facilities. And we all know what Kentucky is, right? I mean, Kentucky is the Alabama football of the sport, not the conference.
You dog walk Kentucky.
Sport. And, they don't need, LSU doesn't need blue blood facilities. They need mediocre. They need average. They need to be competitive facilities. And I cannot imagine what you would get back in return. Really. Because it comes down, some of the decisions, like we said, I mean, some of these conversations, it's coming down to stuff that is that simple. It's that simple. Coach, do I need to leave the facility to go eat? Do I need to leave the facility to go lift weights? Can I get my shots up in the morning, go to the weight room, meet with you in your coach's office, meet with my academic advisor, and then get to class? No, you can't do that here. Well, I can do that everywhere else I visited. I know, but if we come here, this is how you're going to stand out. And we can overcome that stuff. Think about it. I mean, Wade is beating people for recruits that all of these types of programs with those facilities that we are talking about have. He's beating those guys out. He beat them out for Efton Reed. He beat them out for Adam Miller. He beat them out for Xavier Pinson. He had to beat out the G League to get Darius Days back. And he did. And he's winning all of those battles. But there's a couple behind the scenes that he's been razor's edge close of closing another 5-star or another big transfer. But they miss out on because the facilities don't have a weight room in it. Really. And they want to go play at LSU because of everything else. They love Wade. They love the team. They love the fan base. But I need that weight room, Coach. I just got to have it. It makes my peace of mind. It makes me feel better about my game. And I can get that at Auburn with Bruce Pearl. And, even Wade sometimes has to be like, I hear you. I understand. I get you. I got you.
Because he's not one to sell you a bill of goods. It's not what he's in the business for. I understand, the American gangster and all that goes around him. But at the end of the day, he's in the conversations with the guys that you have to be able to build a championship program. Think about the guy who was it that went to Memphis that was supposed to be an LSU commit and was going to be your
Musa Cisse.
Right, but guess what happened? He got railroaded by big NCAA. They had people out to make sure that the word was out on LSU basketball and how it might be something that is a problem. And it's no, Will Wade's going to take care of you in terms of, I'm not selling you a bill of goods, dude. This is a legitimate program, but when you're trying to sell that at face value and then they come there, it's wait, we have to walk across the street? I can see how this, it's an easy, hard sell if you're a different team. If you're an SEC team that wants to negative recruit against LSU, it's easy to do, and don't let that be an issue.
Britton Burkhalter, I had FOMO for the first time with LSU basketball last night. It was the place to be.
It was that, yeah.
It was a place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. Incredible.
My guy.
Incredible. If you have not seen the social media posted by Lloyd Courtney on the ground, boots on the ground with Miles Brennan, with the famous Wolf of Wall Street scene from the top of the Pate Maravich Assembly Center. Some of the best work, some of your best work ever.
Thank you.
Ever, my friend.
Shout out Sean. It was his idea.
Ever,
so I got to give the big bro. Yeah, he's doing
first good idea you've ever had, bro. That a boy. Jordan Malazzo, place looks like 1988 too. Well said, Jordan. Well said. The Bakers, good to see the Bakers. Shout out to the Bakers here on this Sunday night. The Bakers, best thing Alleva ever did, no doubt, hands down. It's not even close, but I think somebody actually came through here and straightened it up, talking about Eddie Nunez was actually the one who made the hire, which is true. Nunez, who had come over from Florida, he was a part of that. Kenny Futch says Eddie Nunez got Wade to LSU, not Alleva. Futch? Futch? No, you just want to say that.
Late night show.
Nate Oates is next on Willie Wade's hit list. Yeah. Interesting. We appreciate your interaction. Thank you all for getting in here.
That's the rivalry, right? It's Alabama, LSU.
Especially internally between those two.
Yeah. They're fighting for the same people.
Well, they're built exactly the same. It's the two alphas. You know what I mean? That
they could fist fight.
Yeah,
they would.
They would. I don't know about Wade's endurance. He's had to. I know he runs a lot.
We got to get him in.
What was our boy's name on Mike Tyson Punch Out at the end? The big guy who was
Butterbean.
Was it Butterbean?
Butterbean.
Was it Butterbean?
Yeah, he was on Jackass. He used to fight, and they would fight in department stores.
I guess that would be who Willie Wade would be.
He's not that big.
But just that type of style.
Yeah.
I mean,
watch out for the knockout.
Nate Oates has got the jawline. He's all cut up. Looks like he works out maybe even twice a day in the off season.
Dude.
Yeah, right. We get it, nerd.
Yeah, let me throw on my sweats and beat the hell out of you. Sorry, Nate.
It's all good.
Notes.
Jordy, do you think they build a new facility and or arena? I do, Jeremy. I really do. Alex Smith, Jordy, were you grinning when Nate Oates lost? I was. Yes. Good news, early news on Xavier Penson after last night.
That was
wicked. That was a fall that looked like on a basketball floor. That was a blown out knee. And boo, sorry, I didn't mean to say it out loud because I know. Yes, sorry, Zay. Yes, no. Everything.
Down here?
Come on, not yet.
But that's part of the problem. That's what you're talking about. Like that shouldn't happen. Because.
Well, I'm talking
not
about they're taking on water in the practice facility.
Yeah, I know that, but it's obviously a carryover.
Sure.
Like I could see, is this not the first time you've seen them like wiping down the basketball? Like you saw it against other home games. You've seen it. Yes,
it's high school.
It can't be that way. I know you're talking about the practice facility, but there's clearly carryover for that, and it's probably a little bit because the LSU women's game has been so packed. Like that building's not used to the turnover.
That type of action.
Yeah, there's so much hot air in there between me, you, and how many other people that are in there.
Jubin, Jordy, the PMAC is 13-2 right now. If you were to redo the Maravich Center and build it over, would you rather them do less seats or more seats? I would go less. After seeing Auburn a couple of weeks ago, I would go less. I think that. Night in, night out, it's a tough task for athletic directors and administrators to try and put butts in the seats. And I think the product that LSU has right now, it's so high in demand that it probably wouldn't make immediate sense for taking seats out, where you could probably sell more tickets. I just think for the long term of the project and the vision, that it, more quaint, more on top of you, more, just more interest. I think that the less seats is probably the way to go.
What is the quick fix? That obviously you have to ride out the rest of this year, but what is the idea for? I mean, Sean again floated out the idea of going to the River Center for a year to be able to figure out something that's more intimate because it is built up too big, right? That was the idea. That was what was in vogue during the time. But the PMAC is too big, and clearly it doesn't have the infrastructure that you need. Neither does LSU basketball. So what is what would be like is it a 3-year plan? Is it a 1-year plan? Is it a 6-month plan?
Well, I don't know that. You know what I mean? Like,
Are they talking about it then?
Yes, they are
Okay,
absolutely
okay.
talking about it. I mean, but I think that it's like a lot of stuff that happens like in EBR Parish where like you're like, what's up with the traffic? And you're like,
tape.
we're getting a study done on it again. You're like, I mean, haven't you been studying this stuff for a decade? And look, here's what the study's going to say. It sucks.
It's
you know what I
fucked.
mean?
The whole
Like,
thing's fucked.
how many people do we need to poll? It blows, bro.
Are you in traffic right
Can
now?
we get a plan in place to fix it? Like, I mean, the Maravich Center, you don't need to study for it. It's out of date. It's out of touch. It sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, like, there's still history there. You can still feel like some of the ghost of the program. It's cool to see the stuff in the rafters and stuff. But I mean, as far as like the 2022 ability to watch a basketball game on somebody's campus, it's no good. It's not good. When compared to your competition, where people are paying attention to that stuff, like, it's time for LSU to do that. And I mean, like, we've been talking about this for like a couple of minutes now. I mean, like a while. And I'm just going to keep repeating the same stuff that I've been saying. But like, yes, I agree. Like, move them off campus for a year. The River Center makes great sense. I mean, like, it's so perfect. That's fine. Cool for a year.
Know, yeah.
Be great stories. Be fun to go in there and watch college basketball for a year. Right? You know what I mean? Like, just go in there and watch it and then take that time to either overhaul what you have, refurbish something that you have, or knock that bitch down and build it again. I mean, like, really, like, just do it. Like, I mean, just embrace it and build a facility right in the middle. I mean, because one thing that we cannot deny, I mean, the location of the Assembly Center, of the Maravich Center, it's awesome. You know, I mean, I don't know
easy.
I don't know the logistics of it. I think like for a while there that the city owned the building, like the university didn't own the building. That's why they could name it the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, because LSU wasn't going to do it because he never graduated, like stupid stuff like that. Like, he doesn't have a statue. You know, like when LSU was like handing out statues like Tic Tacs, I mean, you were like, well, shouldn't Pistol Pete have one? Like, I mean, like, we never graduated. Like,
the whole building
what?
after him.
Who cares? I mean, he averaged 44 without the 3-point line.
Hey, newsflash, LSU's your good players aren't going to graduate college.
Right.
So let's get that straight.
So we'll talk to Willie Wade tomorrow morning at 7:30. Make sure that you're here.
Is he this fired up like you are?
Yeah.
He should be.
Yeah. He is. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
But to speak for him.
Yeah. No, I think that's what we're kind of doing. You know what I mean? I think we'll come out here and rant and rave and pound our fists. But I mean, that was pretty telling for him to say that last night in that moment. You know what I mean?
After a huge win.
Like, after a huge week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you beat Tennessee and Kentucky in a 4-day span, and he blasts the facilities. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a ton of people that pay attention to that. There's going to be a ton of people that hear that. There's going to be a ton of people that are like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, this cat just whipped up on Tennessee and Kentucky, and one of the first things he said is that they had to do it in the rain. They had to do it with a leaking roof. You know, I mean, like, that's some stuff you usually hear stay in.
He's got a little Nick Saban in him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to use the press to my advantage, and you're not
Yes.
used to seeing that after the last 3 years of LSU football, which is the most covered. But he has an agenda, and he knows how to get it out there, and that's the best way to do it, is to put it in the hands of public perception when I'm winning, and then see if I can get people on my side, and it looks like he does. He's one of the best that's ever come through LSU in terms of coaching, regardless of sport, in my mind.
Yes, he is, man. And he cares as much
He
as
wants to be
any
here.
of them. I think if nothing else, if you're an LSU fan, one thing that you have to appreciate about Will Wade is that this dude loves LSU. Like,
For no reason.
Loves it for no reason. For absolutely no reason other than that he is you've still had people come through here, draw a check, wear the polo, and not really give a damn about the place. Like, that's happened. And I'm sure you know the people that we're talking about, right?
Don Staley would love them.
You've had those types of you know what I'm talking about. Wade is not that person. Like, really and truly. I mean, outside of all the jokes that you want to make about the strong ass offer and all that stuff, I get it. He's never going to misrepresent LSU. Like, he's trying to win. He wants to win. And he's trying to win and keep up with the same people that are out there winning and dominating the sport. He's trying to make LSU relevant. And he's fighting his ass off every single day. I mean, listen to what those players say about Will Wade. They know that guy has their back and that all he really gives a damn about is making their experience great and winning. That's it. And he'll do just about anything it takes to get there. Whether it's chemistry building nights in the offseason with softball games and card games and paintball fun, or it is calling the administration out after 2 top 20 wins at home about the facilities that LSU is way overdue on. Way, way, way past due on. And I think that there was a grace period from the administration standpoint, from the public saying, look, we understand you got to let this Wade situation kind of play itself out and figure out where the dust is going to settle off of it. But 3 years in, and they're still playing merry-go-round with the same stories that they were trying to push down people a couple of years ago, and they really don't have anything to show for it. Now's the time to pay him. Now's the time to extend him. Now's the time to break ground on new facilities. Now's the time to have the real conversation in the public on how you restore the Pete Maravich Assembly Center and get to a competitive environment. You know what I mean? Like, that environment is fantastic, but one that really would make sense nationally in college basketball, one that you can recruit towards, one that you can bring a recruit in and say, welcome to the big time. Welcome to the 2022 edition of LSU basketball where you got 10,000 raining down on you every night. Doesn't matter if you're playing Lipscomb or Tennessee, they're going to be here. Well, why is that? Because they love the general. Because they'll die for this cat. Because they'll dress up and look like a 1800 soldier in the front row as students. Because they'll wear goofy hats that look like this general around. Everybody's got a boot-up T-shirt on. Kids are here on family night. Teenagers are here with their parents when it's not cool to travel. They want to be here because all their friends are here. People are here on date night.
You got your starting quarterback in the 315 section.
It was awesome, bro. It was awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. That's how badly people want to be at LSU basketball, and they haven't been able to. It shouldn't be this hard. Like, this should be an easy fix, and they haven't been able to kind of find that secret sauce yet. Because there's one easy question to ask, right? If you ever have to have this meeting, are you better with Will Wade on your team or off your team?
What?
Exactly. Pay the man.
Shit.
Are you better with him or without him? There's no arena. You're the first one to the table with Will Wade. Make sure he doesn't get to another table, right? Because that's the most important thing. Look what he's done for LSU basketball in a place where people have been dying to care about basketball to the point where they gave up. They became ambivalent about it. And now they love it so much because this is what LSU was. Like, that's what I grew up in. That's what the era you grew up in was seeing LSU basketball was a force. And now Will Wade's bringing that back, and you could tell. So that's why you have the old heads on the side, because there was no student support ever when I was at LSU. And this is 2010 to 2014. There was no reason to go to an LSU basketball game unless you wanted to see Ben Simmons. There was no courtside presence.
No,
and I
Wade
understand
is built,
why the student section wants to be over there.
It's the same thing we talked about with Mulkey earlier this week. It doesn't matter who she's playing. You're going there to watch her product. Wade has built the program now. It doesn't matter if LSU's playing Kentucky or Tennessee. It doesn't matter if they're playing Lipscomb. It doesn't matter who they're playing. You're there. It doesn't matter if they go play Louisiana Tech up in Bossier. The northern part of the state that loves LSU is going to show up. You know what I mean? That's what they've done.
Yes.
And it's just unbelievable.
Boot it up.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Full disclosure today, I've not watched any football. I spent my entire day in a 5th grade basketball gym where little Jay and the crew
How'd we do?
won the championship out at St. Alphonsus in Central, out there in at the St. Alphonsus tournament. Then he had a franchise game. He plays right now. He's on 3 teams. He's on three squads.
He's an assassin.
So he
gun for hire.
So he goes and they play in the school league championship at a St. Alphonsus tournament at 2:15. Gets out of there, has one of his AAU games at 4:00 across town, and then Dad sends him off to get ready for school tomorrow, and I go scout a 5th grade basketball tournament team between St. George and St. Aloysius. The looks that I got walking into that gym by myself, like without Jay. You know what I mean? Like no Jay in tow. Which is always just, we're just here to watch his buddies play.
No Jay in tow is speaking lightly, I'd imagine.
We were, you know what I mean? Like, where's Jordan? Is he outside playing? Like, no, he's at home getting ready for school tomorrow. So, like, what the hell are you doing here? You know what? I owned it.
313, I see that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm here scouting.
Trap. Cool.
I'm here scouting. Right. I'm here looking at the Jilly kid, and I'm here looking at the Foreman kid. I'm thinking how we're gonna defend both of these beasts. These animals, man. I mean, what do you feed these kids? The Jillies and the Foremans, I mean, these kids look like Shaquille O'Neal on the 5th grade floor. One thing that is evident that travels in basketball, no matter the grade level or the age or the competitive level, is that the big man does not get calls. It's the Shaq effect, right? Like the
game has changed.
If not in this part.
Oh, we're still working at low?
No, you're still being well, I mean, you know, it's still a big man's game. It's still a big man's game, and Foreman and Jilly are Shaq-like in the 5th grade circuit, right? Like they are two monsters.
Dads are watching.
That they I don't know. They're probably pissed off that I've got a game plan against them now. I ain't telling them nothing, man.
Let them shoot.
I'm not telling them nothing, man.
What age are we? 12?
5th grade.
Yeah. So some of them,
11.
some of them got underarm hair right now.
Yeah. But it was great to see. I went to the St. George St. Aloysius final of the St. Aloysius tournament.
Hacking?
Huh?
Are we hacking?
What do you mean?
Hack-a-Shack? Is that the you saw
Jilly can shoot free throws.
Okay. I know
Jilly, you know, I was. Foreman, if I was to foul, Foreman hit 2 huge. They put him at point guard.
Because
I mean, it's like
he'll never
they just don't want him to lose the ball, right? Like it's tough for him to get it back. So like Jilly and St. Aloysius, he's got a couple of guys that can get him the ball, which is going to take a little bit of a different defensive pressure. Foreman he brings the ball up. He can back you down. He knocked down a couple of threes tonight that were a big part of the game. Oof. Scout report's going to be deep.
Yeah.
Scout report's going to be deep. But it was an incredible day of 5th grade basketball for your boy. I did not watch. I was peeking over at the franchise game and watching a little bit of the Saints, who dominated Atlanta. Dominated them. And you knew that was going to happen. And then you look up and the 49ers win the game in OT. Fuck you, Los Angeles.
Dude, what was it, 17-0 they were
Kidding
up?
me, bro.
It had it on the silver platter because the entire time you're watching the Saints game, they had the bug in the top.
Because they were playing for something.
Yes, both teams were.
Yes,
and like the announcers, we got the B team. The Sanchez is the booth was struggling, but they're gonna get better. Like you could tell that they was almost there, but it was not very good. But you had the bug in the top left corner of the Rams and Niners game, and it was 17-0. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The Saints, if they're able to win this, they're going to be able to get in. And then you have Trevor Siemian come in, and the Saints are blowing the doors off the Falcons. It's like you said, it's Sean Payton's masterpiece. Like this is his team, and he's been able to do this for no reason. We talked about tanking earlier in the year. Like, what's the end goal for the Saints? We don't really know, but Sean Payton's not going to let them die. Yeah. And they played themselves into a situation to be in for the playoffs. Then you have Hollywood Rams on the doorstep, and they back out the party. Maybe they didn't want to play. Dude, they probably didn't want to play the Saints.
Rams.
They probably said, "Dude, let's ace this. Let's ace this place, so we don't have to play."
I mean, has there been a team that has screwed the Saints more than the LA Rams over the last 5 years?
No.
I mean, since they've moved to LA,
Vikings, double Vikings, double Rams.
Yeah, Vikings. Vikings would be a good call.
Just the poor.
But the Rams have haunted the Saints. I mean, the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago.
You were there, huh?
Yes, I was there. Bro, it was like mummies walking out of that place.
I've heard it was The Walking Dead.
It was The Walking Dead. I mean, people were I'll never forget that walk down the ramp in the dome because
somebody jumped off the ramp. My brother was there, and he said somebody jumped down the escalator, didn't even take it.
To their death?
No, just fell.
No, I get it.
Over.
No, I believe
it. Like it was to that point.
I believe it.
Everybody was in a state of disarray. Like
it was
what just happened. Yeah, you can't fix it.
It was that was
it's
the
too
part.
Late.
That was the part. I mean, that was when you got in your car and like Bobby Hebert was telling people to like lock the door to the city on the referees. Don't let them fly out. I'm talking to you, New Orleans Metropolitan.
Yeah, boy.
Don't let them fly out. bar the door. I mean, like people were like calling in, like,
Believe
get
it.
him, Bobs,
Get him, Bobby.
get him, Bobby. What can I do? Where can I go? I mean, Bobby's got
I'm
like
a part of a
people on the
union.
phone, dude. Like, call Mitch Landrew. Shut him down. I mean, like Sean Payton's mother effing people in the hall looking at the referees.
Give me
I mean,
some
it
goddamn
was one of
juicy
those
fruit.
days, dude. Like, they were like, they're going to die. They're going to kill these guys. They're going to kill these referees.
And they did the casual jog off the field. They're like, all right, bye. It's like, oh, you
Security
buddy.
car waiting. Police escort to your private jet to get out of town. I
Just
mean, like,
egregious.
meanwhile, Bobby is on WWL.
Calling for your head.
I mean, like, the horn of the city got everybody down, and do not let them out of this city. Bar the door. I mean, like, it was
Sazeracs
unreal,
in.
dude. Little Jay was like, "Are we safe?" I was like, "I don't know, bro.
dude.
I don't think so. I don't think we are."
Because if you've ever been to a New Orleans Saints game when they're winning and it's right, if you leave the arena, like, or the Superdome, it's not over. That's when it just begun. There's people out there second lining. They're selling beer and water outside the stadium. Like, your day just started if you leave there from a 12 o'clock game to 3:25. Like, it can change your day. Like, you're like, all right, I guess I'm staying in New Orleans tonight. That's how serious they take that football when it's right, because they want to party so bad. And when that happened, it had to be like,
It was
are we
unreal.
going to get the pitchforks?
It was unreal. It was.
I couldn't imagine being there.
It was, and you could feel it. It was running downhill. It was.
Get us out of town.
It was running downhill when the Rams got the ball back, and
Greg the leg.
no, actually, when Breeze threw the interception in OT, when he was, when he like threw it up in the air, and the Rams
Because you felt like you still had a
DB, you were
chance. Like, okay, they
oh, it's over. Like, you were like, it's
no,
over.
but like when you got to overtime, you're like, all right.
Oh, no doubt.
But
no
the
doubt.
place
You're
was
like,
on tilt.
All right, everybody, just deep breath.
Okay, yeah, we got Drew Brees and Michael Thomas.
And they won the toss.
Yes, they were
so
like,
when
all
they
right,
won the
let's go
toss, they were
score.
like, all right, it's okay.
This will get, and dude, I bet Roger Goodell was doing the same thing. Like, this is going to straighten itself out. We won't have to have any rule changes. Like,
And then it was like,
God damn it, let the Saints
first
win.
or second down, he threw a pick.
Yeah, he
was like-
threw it up too.
Yeah,
like
and he
end of
like
his career.
lobbed it up. Yeah.
That was the last pass that you probably think of Drew Brees. Like, oh, you can't do this anymore, because
Oh gosh. And when they
I feel
caught it,
terrible
it
for
was
him
like,
still.
it's over.
yeah,
Because Greg the leg,
he was in field goal range when he intercepted it.
when he intercepted it, he was in field goal range. And it took like 2 completions, and it was
they
like,
were cooked.
oh my God, they're gonna lose this game. They're gonna lose this game.
to the point you jump off the escalator.
Um.
God bless.
Good Lord. Wow. Rest in peace, Bob Saget.
Dude, we lost.
Dude,
we
what
lost Betty White.
Betty White and
Bob
Saget in a week.
2022, not
No,
a hot
not a
start.
cool start.
Not a hot
Not a
start.
cool start. Damn, Bob Saget was a legend. Like, when I first learned that Bob Saget was like a dirty old man, I was like, no,
I loved him way more.
Me too. I was
The
like,
Entourage.
but it was before Entourage was like the first time I had seen it.
Me too.
Like, I had heard the
That
tales.
he's like a
yeah,
nasty
like
stand-up
a
comedian.
dirty
Yeah, old
comic,
man.
like just like a filth.
I just thought Full House.
Disgusting. Yeah, right. I was like, he was
Dad.
What was his name in Full House?
Oh, they're gonna know in the chat.
Yeah, they'll know in the chat for sure.
But yeah,
Tanner? Was it Bob Tanner?
I don't know. There's a bunch of them. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
all-star cast, to be honest.
An all-star cast.
Good. So
Stamos.
90s, dude.
Was it Cameron? The girl.
Wasn't Cameron Diaz.
No, it was not Cameron.
That was
Diaz.
The Mask. I went down that rabbit hole.
It was the guy on Growing Pains' younger sister, Cameron. Damn, he was like a childhood star, and he was from sitcoms. And his sister was.
I loved Growing
His
Pains.
sister was DJ
Oh,
on Full House. Yeah, I mean, kind of growing up, she was kind of the sneaky hot one, right?
Well, she was a little loud. You know, she would go into the
The
room and you
oldest.
would know when she was there. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
I get
right.
what.
Danny Tanner.
Danny Tanner. That's definitely
Danny
the name.
Tanner.
Perfect.
Danny Tanner.
Perfect.
But then Bob Saget, then you heard his like some of his stand-up acts were like
Oh
nothing,
my
like
God.
all perverted, and like that he was like this disgustingly nasty
Not the family man. we
old
thought.
man. Like I knew him from hosting America's Funniest Videos and Danny Tanner. Like I knew him as like as the Full House dad, and then come to find out this guy was like a walking dirty joke, and it was like okay, all right. Like, and then he was
How
on
much fun are you at a
Entourage.
cocktail party?
He was on Entourage at the whorehouse hitting the bong, and I'm like, look at Bob Saget, dude.
That is
And
your
him
real
and
name?
Him and Vince go at it over the chick, and he's like, I mean, like a couple of his one-liners where he's just like, he cracks on drama. Dude,
The best thing about it is he was so
Kirk
good.
Cameron.
Okay, he was so good they brought him back. Like, he had multiple roles in Entourage. It was definitely supposed to be a one-off, but then he kind of keeps sneaking back into Entourage where he calls into, like, Vince and Ari, and it's like, all right, Bob Saget is a legend. Like, if he's going to be an Entourage like
a legend.
this, he wants to get that out there that I am not Danny
I'm not
Tanner.
dying with this one.
I'm not the family man.
It was unreal, dude.
I want to be running through the cat house.
I mean, and that is one of the best Entourages.
Yes.
It is one of the best ones.
That's the honey hole. That whole series, that part of that season is so good when they go see the shaman. Like, it's all in that same vein. Like, 3A and 3B are all time.
Jimmy Magoo, sneaky hot for 12. Yes, I was 12 at the time, Jimmy. We were the same age when I was watching Full House. I'm not crushing on.
I wonder what's her name?
Because
you could look like. She looks like
Kirk
now.
Cameron is her older brother, so she is
Something Cameron.
Yes.
Or unless she's married.
Yeah. John Stamos, Aunt Becky was the one.
Still can, probably.
Right.
You said Growing Pains. I had a crush on her. The girl in Growing Pains.
Which one?
The one that he was kind of always kind of didn't
Kirk
want
Cameron?
Yeah, that he didn't want to talk to. I was like, all right, I get that. She's kind of hot for you.
Right.
So I get it. Who's the all-timer for you?
All-timer growing up?
Yeah.
Kelly Kapowski.
Absolutely. Okay.
For sure. She's got to be the number one pick, huh?
I don't know. Some people have a type, and she doesn't fall. Like, if you're not into that look that she has, then she's not the pink Power Ranger. A lot of people have a crush on.
Wow.
That was before my time. I didn't see her, but Kelly Kapowski was right, fastball down the middle. I was like, oh yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah. Right. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's solid, bro. A little Sunday night football here. Vegas is beating the Chargers right now, 17-14. As that is some Sunday night action for you. Tomorrow, as we said, we will talk to Willie Wade. Yes, Candace Cameron is DJ, the oldest. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Max Allen.
Let's see what she looks like. Candace Cameron Burr.
Yeah. Married?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're okay.
Okay.
We're okay. Heading this out.
Yeah, right.
A lot of rumors about me dating Sarah Edwards. That is not true.
Wow.
I know Tiger droppings can get going,
Could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Actually, no. Let me stoke that fire. Let me get it.
Right.
Keep it alive while we can.
Right. I mean, we're building. No,
dude.
No, he's not.
She would be a fool.
Our neighbor at the UDL is a weirdo. At the Noodle, I've been knowing him for a long time. Peek your little head in there, Rooster.
I'm trying to get him.
Big head. I think if you could get a side shot there from that angle.
We don't have that angle.
No, hit that overhead shot
you
again.
You want that 5 shot?
Hit that overhead shot
there he
again.
is.
Landon Haynes, we called him the Rooster back in the day. It's good to have him here because he protects the Noodle. I don't know where he got this open invite to come walking in during we were live.
Now he understands.
Yeah, we'll revoke his key for sure.
Or we just have to lock the door.
Yeah, I guess so.
That might be a plus.
Yeah, that's right.
He did give us gas though. You got to give him full credit.
He's
Mikey ran out of gas.
He's done a lot of good. He's done a lot of good.
Great neighbor to have.
One pop in won't kill him. We will have to have a lecture though.
He didn't know we had a Sunday show.
Sit down. All right, tomorrow morning we will talk to Will Wade, 7:30. Spread the word. We will recap the weekend. I will have much more to say about the New Orleans Saints. We'll talk about their accomplishments
this
year.
Reading.
9-8 though. Saints, incredible, man. I mean, that is
my uncle just texted me. I'm not dating Sarah Edwards.
Nice. Nice. Spread the word.
Sarah, I'm sorry.
Lloyd.
I'm taking
What a brand. What a brand. I
think I owe this to Miles Brennan.
I mean, all of this, dude. Incredible weekend for you.
Thank you, yeah.
Incredible weekend for you.
Go back to the table.
Yes. Golly, bro. Dating Sarah Edwards, the Wolf of Wall Street scene with Miles Brennan. What's next?
It's exhausting.
Jesus.
You know it's like 7 a.m.
Tell Sarah we said hello tonight.
I will. I will.
Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that comment button. We appreciate you being here on Sunday nights. Remember Lance Beal, attorney at law. He is down in Lafayette in the Acadiana area. 337-991-6263. This one might be worth it. This one might be worth it. You are in for it, though, because you are playing in, dude. You are playing it in. I didn't know how you were going to do that one, but you have. Yes. Jordy Culotta and Sarah Edwards' boyfriend signing off here on this Sunday night. We are back with you tomorrow morning. Like, share, shout out Lance Beal.
Find me on TikTok.